Hi, Patrick here. Now, recently I went for hiking, and I went to this hill to hike, which is a hill that I've hiked before, so I have the confidence on how to hike the hill, right? And and I was going up the hill. There were stairs and so on, and then I saw there was like a new path, and it looks interesting. So I thought, hey, you know what? Today I'm gonna try a new path because it's gonna be more adventurous. So I choose that path. It is so-called um, uncharted in the sense that it doesn't really have a path in that way, but someone has gone through that. So I gone through that anyway, and I was going up higher, and so on. And I was going deeper into the hill in that sense. It looks like all green and so on. This is not the hill, right? I'm actually at a different part, but it's a hill where it's all full of bush and trees and so on. So as I go up, I reach a place where it seems like it's a dead end, right? So I thought, hey, you know what? Maybe I could not go up anymore, and that's fine. And I say, you know what? I'm just gonna go back. And then when I like turned to the back, and I wanted to go back down to the hill, right? I realized there's no path because when I was going up, you know, um, there's no real path there, and we're just like going through and so on. And then I look back, there's no path going back. And then I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna try and find my way back. So then of course I keep on going down, and I realized that it's no longer the same path of how I went up a few minutes ago, right? And at that moment of time, I can see, like, I was seeing my watch and then seeing the sky. I say, it's gonna get dark soon, but it's not dark yet. So I say this to myself, right, in my heart, of course, because there were absolutely no human beings beside me at that moment of time. And I say this, don't panic, right? And when I say that in my mind, like, the first thing you gotta do is do not panic, right? And you know what happened? When I say that, I automatically start panic at that moment of time. Inside, it's not a forest, but inside the hill, right? Again, it's like it's all green and so on. There's no path and so on. There's no human being. And I started panic, and I started to listen to all the insect sounds, the bird and everything else. All these sounds suddenly sounds so loud, and the sky suddenly looks so dark, right? And yes, I panicked, right? And I see my watch and say, I gotta get down, I gotta find my way as fast as possible, because I start to think of what are the worst scenario that will be happening if I don't find my way out before the sky turns dark. And then I start to think that, if I could not find it when the sun goes down, there's no way how I can get out from that place anymore, because I will be just thinking this way, like there's like imagine that you are inside the bush, right? You're inside the bush, and you will not be able to come out anymore. Then I would think that they would need to have a rescue team, and they wouldn't even know that I'm in the bush, because I went out to do this hiking without even telling my family, without even telling my wife that I'm going inside the hill, right? And I start panicking, right? Now, you see, the thing is that it's the same as how when we make a decision in business. The more we don't want that to happen, right? The one we say that see, the thing is that what I'm trying to tell you is this: is that when you start to think that your business is not going to be successful, when you start that in your mind and says that it's not going to fail, then you start to think how the business is going to fail, and everything sounds to go downhill in that sense, right? So this is the most important aspect in terms of controlling your emotions and making the right business decisions when you are dealing with adversity, when you're dealing with challenges. Because the more you say that you do not want that to happen, the more likely you start to think of that. And I watched a TED Talk, I think TEDx or TED Talk, I'm not too sure. But it mentioned this, is that through research, I'm saying this not to be insensitive, but poor people make poorer decisions in life, right? That they make wrong decisions, they make mistakes. So there was a research done, and I'm just paraphrasing what I've watched in TED. They did a research, and they did research on farmers. So farmers, the way how they generate income is that they'll have the harvest time where they make a lot of money, and then they don't make money after that, right? So they ask questions in two period of time. One is after the harvest, and the other time where there were no crops, right? And after the harvest, which means that they make a lot of money because they are able to harvest the crops and so on, and they usually make better decisions in terms of finance. And when they don't have the money, in that sense, they make poorer decisions in life, or in this sense, in business. So going back to my experience is that when I say don't panic, I panic. So if you're building your business and you have fear, right? Fear will eat you up once you start feeding your fear in that sense. All right, so that's for today's session. I'm going to go ahead and start my run, and perhaps I am going to check out this hill and try another hiking, because they say the best way to overcome fear is to face fear itself.